Welcome back, vidheads, to another good video. The E2C and the E2. Let's talk crop factors after this. So I did dig up some good information concerning crop factors for the E2C and the E2. And what I have found is that the E2C has a 2.3 crop factor and the E2 has a 1.9 crop factor. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let's dig into crop factors and see if I can simplify the crop factor mystery. Crop factors for video eye first has to do with the size of the actual sensor on the camera. It's all basically related, relative, or compared to a full frame sensor with a 35mm lens on it. So whatever size the actual sensor is, they're going to compare it to a full frame sensor with that 35mm lens on it. If your sensor is smaller than the full frame, then your field of view is going to be smaller than the full frame. And so what they do is they calculate a crop factor. So if you notice in the APS-C sensor, your field of view is not as great as it would be with a full frame. It's more closed in. And then even with a micro four thirds, it's even closed in even more. So the field of view is not as great as you would have for a full frame. So that's why they assign crop factors. So based on the crop factor shows how much of a limited field of view that you have compared to a full frame sensor, if that makes sense. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so here's the image I shot with my Sony a7 III with a 35mm lens. I think it was a Red Pro Prime, and I took a shot at this graffiti wall. And so now this is a full frame sensor with a 35mm lens on it. And so you get a wider field of view compared to the smaller sensor size. So if you were to actually use that same 35mm lens on an APS-C, you would crop down to this size. Now, if you were to use that same 35mm lens on a 2x crop, which would normally be a micro four thirds sensor, then it will look like this. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So now let's take another look at that. So I'm going to keep the full frame in view so you can compare the sizes. So again, this is the full frame 35mm focal length. This is the 35mm APS-C. And this is the 35mm micro four thirds. You see the difference? If you notice, the smaller sensor size has a smaller field of view. So that's what they mean by that. So in order to get that same field of view on the full frame as the micro four thirds view, you would need to put a 70mm lens on the full frame and it'll look like the micro four thirds view. I hope that helps. With that being said, this is what I shot with the E2. It has a wider field of view than the E2C because it's a 1.9 crop and the E2C is a 2.3 crop. So this is the E2 and this is the E2C. You see the difference in the field of view? All right, vidheads, I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about crop factors and how they compare to a full frame 35mm. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you just comment down below. I'll try my best to answer any questions you may have. And if I can't answer it, I'm sure we have some people that come by the channel and they will be able to chime in as well and give you some better understanding. I don't want to make the E2C seem like it's larger than life. That's the last thing I want to do. The A6400 is a good camera as well at $900, which is $100 more. But what I noticed is that the A6400 is more of a videographer's camera, and the E2C is more of a cinema camera for people who are shooting cinema style workflows. As always, make sure you subscribe and follow me on my social media. I got some challenges coming up real soon for you guys. Hopefully you're ready to go ahead and get a commercial under your belt, because we're going to grab something out of your house and I'm going to challenge you to sell it to us with your imagery. It's going to be awesome. So by you doing that, you're going to start building up a portfolio of your videos, and you're going to be able to show these videos to your prospective clients and be able to gain work, because they'll be able to see what type of work that you do. It'll be awesome, trust me. So make sure you don't miss anything and go ahead and subscribe down below. So we're out of here. Aaron Jones, your big brother, I got your back. Until the next video, make sure you go out and you film something and kill it.